This Somali money laundering scandal that's happening right now in Minnesota has to be one of the biggest political scandals in American history. You can't tell me no different. The fact that we have all of this information and nobody is still held accountable is diabolical as hell to me. It's so sad that a damn YouTuber, a journalist, and not taking anything from him because Nick Shirley, you're doing a hell of a job, son. But you're telling me that this man has more information and doing a better investigation than the FBI themselves. Better yet, Elon Musk, you were doing a hell of a job in Doge. At least that's what they told us, and I was with you. But how the hell did you miss this? Because this is absolutely fucking mind-blowing that some of us are out here working so damn hard, and all of our hard-earned money and all of our taxpayer money is going to a goddamn money laundering scheme. You got to be out of your mind. At this point, this shit has nothing to do with politics. This is a fucking criminal organization, and you cannot tell me that Kamala Harris did not know what she was doing when she fucking picked Tim Walz as her VP. This shit was never about the people. It was about the paper that her ass planned on getting once they got up in that damn office. This shit needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed effective immediately. At this point, we need to just knock all this shit over, because it's obviously the government ain't doing shit for us but taking over us and taking from us, okay? And
hold up, you've got to hear this one. From the ongoing Minnesota exposure fraud, this woman defends the question daycare setups Nick Shirley's visited, the ones that are empty, getting huge funding. Instead of answers, she labels the guy asking about kids a pedophile.
Demanding to see children that are not yours at a daycare so you can record them is a level of pedophilia that has yet to be talked about.
Classic move to flip the script and dodge the real issue. Where's the money going if services aren't happening? Nick's pushing for transparency amid the massive scandal. Awareness is building. Raids are hitting. Keep sharing so accountability catches up everywhere.
Nick Shirley reveals daycare fraud. A daycare that claims to accommodate 74 children has received $126 million in taxpayer funding. What's shocking is that the daycare hasn't taken in any children at all. However, this money was not used to help any children in need. Reporter Nick Shirley personally visited several daycare centers in Minnesota owned by Somalis and tried to enroll his son. He discovered that these centers were nothing but shell operations. The staff refused to provide any useful information. Some daycare workers couldn't even explain why the facility, which claimed to accommodate 74 children, had no children at all. When the reporter asked, their response was simply, "I don't know." What's even more infuriating is that these daycare centers receive huge taxpayer funding every year. This revelation is both outraging and thought-provoking. Is there a serious flaw in daycare regulation? Why are taxpayer dollars earned through hard work flowing into fake daycare centers like this, while genuinely needy families don't get the support they deserve? What do you think should be done about the fraudulent practices of these nurseries?
Here in Minnesota, massive fraud is taking place within the government and the Somali population. Here, this building alone, Quality Learning Center, is a daycare, yet they spelled learning wrong, and they said leering. This daycare alone in 2025 has received $1.9 million from the government. And the strange things about these childcare centers is there's no one here right now. It's midday on a weekday, and if you were to try to go inside, it's completely closed and the windows are all blacked out. No one's working, midday, children should be in here, and this place is licensed for 99 children, and this is the outside. There's no windows, no nothing, and like I said, they literally spelt the word wrong on their sign. This is open and blatant fraud taking place here inside of Minnesota. The government is complicit with this, and this is just one of the hundreds of child daycare centers here inside of Minneapolis being ran by the Somali population. It's sad that it's happening here in Minnesota, and it stinks that it's happening and it's being labeled on the Somali population. However, that's just the facts of what's happening here inside of Minnesota. $1.9 million for this daycare center that can't even spell learning right.
So what do you think about this daycare center? They spelled learning wrong. They've received over $1.9 million this year alone, and they're supposed to have 99 children here.
I don't see it.
99 children.
Have you ever seen any children here?
None at all.
This year they got 1.9 million. Last year they got 1.5 million of your tax money for 99 children. We just want to know, where are the kids?
I've been here since 2017. I haven't seen anybody like
Never
that
seen
here.
a child here.
No, not at all.
And how does that make you feel knowing that this place is receiving $1.9 million?
It's disgusting. I mean, what the hell? They stealing the money. That's a federal grant too. That's, if they get caught for that, it's a federal offense.
And do you think Tim Walz should go to jail for all the fraud that he's enabled here in his state?
That's him doing this? Whoopa. Heck yeah.
They even spelled learning wrong on their sign for a place that's supposed to be educating children.
That's crazy. Who runs it? Who supposedly runs it?
Somalians. Oh my God. So this daycare center is literally just a place to traffic money. $1.9 million just this year alone. And this guy's been living here for 8 years and has never seen a single child walk through those doors.
What was done was someone came to our building outside of operating hours. When there's a specific sign on our door that says our days and our hours. He came outside of those hours and then claimed, hey, they're closed and they're still making money. We've been open. We haven't closed. We've been open for eight and a half years now. We haven't closed once during that period.
The manager of a daycare in Minnesota gave the previous statement to Fox News regarding investigations into alleged fraud occurring at daycares across the state. The manager and son of the owner of the viral Quality Learning Center assures that there is no fraud and that their facility has been open for over 8 years with no problems. He claims he was visited outside of normal operating hours, referring to Nick Shirley's viral video where he visits daycare centers across the state, and claims that the visit outside of normal hours is what made the facility look so inactive. He also said they are aware of the typo on the sign and that issue has since been resolved. A local resident told the New York Post that the activity around the learning center was highly unusual and said, "We've never seen kids go in there until today. That parking lot is empty all the time and I was under the impression that place is permanently closed." In 2018, a video surfaced during a state fraud case showing parents dropping off their children, signing them in at a daycare, and then immediately taking them right back out. Investigators say this is so the providers could bill the state for a full day of care, even though the children didn't actually attend. The Post says dozens of people, vast majority Somali immigrants, have been arrested in the fraud scheme, of which $1 billion has been found to be misappropriated so far. This is a developing and ongoing story, so we will update you as soon as we have more info.
Right here we have 2 child daycare centers. We have the Minnesota Child Care Center, and then we also have Nuna. Between the two, $2.66 million. Hello. Hi.
Why are you recording?
Yes. We would like to know.
Well, it says we're trying to figure out 102 children. Is that for this facility?
What is the name? Do I see the
It's from the state of Minnesota website. It says you have 102 children here in your child care.
Which child care name is a lot of
Minnesota Child Care right here. It's from the state of Minnesota's website. We're just wondering where the children are.
Where the children are?
Yeah, where are the children? It says you have 102 children here,
Okay.
and you got $2.66 million this year in funding, and $2.5 million last year. We're just wondering where the kids are.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley.
Nick Shirley.
And where you? Which department?
Oh, we are from ourselves.
Yeah.
Hello, we'd like to ask where the money's going. Look at that. Shut us down. Where are the children at? No children inside of this daycare center. And look at this daycare center right here. No children inside of this daycare center. But between those buildings, over $2.6 million. We were just curious, where are the children at? Here's another daycare center inside this same building.
We don't want you to be videotaping anything.
Where is all the money going for if there's no children at these daycare centers?
Sir,
Yes.
I told you, please leave.
Yes, we have a question though. Where is the children at these daycare centers if there's millions of dollars?
Ask the local government, yeah.
We have the paper right here. Come here.
Who are you, first of all?
My name's Nick Shirley.
You don't have any permission to record me, period.
Can we talk outside?
You don't have permission to record.
She doesn't either have.
You
She
do
doesn't
not
have permission to record
no,
me.
you cannot stop people on the street and question them.
We can ask.
You don't have any permission.
Where
I'll
are the
sue
children?
You. I will sue you. You don't have any permission. We have nothing to do with this. You
Okay.
understand?
Then are there
So
children?
leave. Please leave.
Are there children here?
Please leave.
Where are the children? $2.6 million for a daycare center. We just want to know where are the children.
Who you work for?
My name's Nick Shirley.
Who do you work for?
I work for myself, Nick Shirley.
Okay, what are you recording?
We're wondering where are the children? $2.66 million for
You're not talking to
the
the
Minnesota
right person.
Child Care Center.
You're not talking to the right person.
Are there children that come here? Answer
You're
the
not
question.
talking
Are
to
there
the right
children?
person. Leave.
There's no children inside this
You
building.
don't know who you're talking to. Leave.
That's just a simple question. Where are the children at?
And right now in Polymarket, there's only a 4% chance that Tim Walz is charged by March 31st. It's time to hold our politicians accountable, especially when there's blatant fraud.
There's a new update in the Minnesota daycare fraud case that Nick Shirley has been investigating, and it's worse than people thought. More evidence just came out, and a former Homeland Security investigator is now speaking up. Newly released surveillance footage shows parents dropping their kids off at a daycare, signing them in, and then taking them right back out minutes later. The kids never stayed, but on paper, they were marked as being there all day, and the government subsidies were still paid out. In some clips, parents are even seen taking cash on the spot. This wasn't a mistake. It looks coordinated. According to the former investigator, this exact setup was flagged years ago. Multiple daycare centers were investigated, and many of them barely had any kids inside. Just paperwork, fake attendance logs, and steady government money coming in. The evidence was collected, cases were built, and then suddenly everything stopped. No charges, no explanation. The investigations just disappeared. That explains why so many of these daycares kept operating despite complaints and red flags. Why audits went nowhere. Why no one was ever held accountable. Now that old investigations are resurfacing and more footage is coming out, it's starting to look less like a few bad actors and more like a system that was allowed to keep going. This isn't just about wasted tax money. It's about trust in oversight and families who actually need real childcare. Do you think this was negligence, or was someone never meant to dig too deep? Drop your take in the comments.
Here at Future Leaders Early Learning Center, this building received over $3 million. Hello, how are you? I would like to see if I could bring little Joey, my son little Joey here. Is there paperwork, or can I check out the daycare? No? Why can't I check out the daycare?
It's not here.
Okay, but if I can I get paperwork or anything to submit my son little Joey to come in here to daycare? We'd really like to put Joey in this daycare. We've heard great things.
Business card?
No, I would like your business card, actually.
You talk to your manager.
Okay, can I speak with somebody? Where are the children at? Are there children here today?
No.
No children.
Yes.
Why are there no children?
To up next time.
Would my son little Joey have friends to play with here?
No.
No. No, no friends for little Joey.
Yes. Sorry.
Dang it. Well, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
So, little Joey would not be accepted to that daycare.
Joey's still homeless.
Joey's still looking for daycare.
And because little Joey couldn't get into a daycare, we went to an autism center, as they have been popping up everywhere as a rise of autism has occurred here in Minnesota because of the government funds that they are receiving. I tried to check my son Joey into an autism center.
We've been going to a lot of these daycare centers. We're trying to find a spot for our little boy Joey, but we thought maybe we could check him into the autism center because none of the daycare centers are open. Yeah, and how many kids do you guys have at this autism center?
I can't give you a number now.
Like more than 5? Probably, so you don't really know?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about like the fraud that's been labeled on the autism centers here? What do you guys do think about the fraud, or how come the autism centers are popping up?
I can't answer.
What news? Are you a news reporter?
My name's Nick. We're doing a little documentary trying to find little Joey a spot to put himself in one of these centers here, because there's
So why are you asking us about
the fraud.
and stuff like that?
Yeah, because we want to make sure we're going to legit business if we're going to bring our little boy Joey here.
This is not a Joey spot. Yeah. But that's our number. Yeah, I can call it. But this is we can't let you guys in. So.
Okay, thank you. So once again, little Joey, he can't even go to daycare, and now they won't even accept him if he has autism.
And again, no kids. Couldn't tell you how many kids they serve. I know the answer. It's 0.
Center, welcome to Bright Beginning Center. But what do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Sorry. No comments. Can I please?
Right here, you have Serenity Quality Care. All of these businesses are literally the same type of business, providing the same service in the same building. Another, Convenience Home Healthcare, Aid, Inc., and Child-Friendly Space. All these companies get money from the government
Why would you have the same company essentially inside of the same building, door to door? Right here, Queenly Home Healthcare. It just does not make sense. If you were trying to operate a business, you'd want to have less competition. But here, they have all their competition right next door. We're wondering, because we hear there's lots of fraud taking place here in Minnesota, and we're wondering, why is there so many of the same companies inside of this same building?
No, I don't know that.
What do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
I don't have any idea about that fraud, okay? That's it.
What do you think about the news articles and what's being spread on the news about the fraud?
Right now, you are doing something wrong.
I'm just asking you
No, you
about
don't
the
have
fraud.
to ask me, okay? Don't ask me that question again.
Okay.
Okay?
Who can I speak to?
Yeah?
Who can I speak to? Okay. As soon as you confront about the fraud, they get angry. When these people have these home healthcare companies, you're seeing them everywhere inside this building. What kind of fraud are they committing?
So there's false documentation being submitted to the state of Minnesota for services never provided. They're having forms signed in advance for services that were then never rendered. As far as a year or 2 years in advance, they'll have someone sign these forms at one sitting, and then they just file those with the state of Minnesota, and nobody from the state of Minnesota bothers to check that those services were ever provided.
So they're essentially just using people, saying that they had these services provided months or even years ago, then filing the paperwork and then receiving money from the government.
Right, and the Somali community is a very closed community, so everybody's in on it, and they don't want to talk, as you can see.
And for this building, I'm going to give an estimate of around $30 million for how much fraud is taking place. That is a very low estimate. However, still a lot of money in fraud.
And do you think there is fraud taking place here?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what any of these businesses are doing?
I never ask.
And now, with upwards of $100 million in fraud, we headed to one more daycare. And this one gets a little spicy as we get chased out at the very end. And after this, we'll be heading to the state capitol to confront the incompetent government leaders.
We have 2 child daycare centers. We have the Minnesota Child Care Center, and then we also have Nuna. Between the two, $2.66 million. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Why are you flooding?
Yes. We would like to know.
Well, it says we're trying to figure out 102 children. Is that for this facility?
What is the name? Do I see
It's from the state of Minnesota website. It says you have 102 children here in your child care.
Which childcare name is a lot of
Minnesota Child Care right here. It's from the state of Minnesota's website. We're just wondering where the children are.
where the children are.
Yeah, where are the children? It says you have 102 children here,
Okay.
and you got $2.66 million this year in funding, and $2.5 million last year. We're just wondering where the kids are.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley.
Nick Shirley.
And where you? Which department?
Oh, we are from ourselves.
Yeah.
Hello, we'd like to ask where the money's going. Look at that. Shut us down. Where are the children at? No children inside of this daycare center. And look at this daycare center right here. No children inside of this daycare center. But between those buildings, over $2.6 million. We were just curious, where are the children at? Do you know where the children are at? Where are the children at in these daycare centers?
I don't have.
How can these childcare centers have no children?
I don't know. No.
There's $2.6 million inside these businesses that were given by the government, but there's no children to be seen anywhere.
Breaking news just coming in. Fuck, is so annoying. Breaking news just coming in that the FBI surges resources to Minnesota as Kash Patel calls the $250 million fraud scheme as tip of the iceberg. Kash Patel, FBI, CIA, Homeland Security, Mr. President himself, Donald J. Trump, what me and everybody else wants to see is what we voted for is an indictment, people in handcuffs on every single news station over there in Minnesota, as many as you can. I want to see every one of their single faces that stole the billions upon billions of dollars from the beautiful people over there in Minnesota, over to Somalia, over to the hands of Al-Qaeda, over to the very same terrorist organizations that are screaming death to America. That's it. That's all we're asking for. We just want to see the indictments, and we just want to see arrests being made. Even if it's that disgusting mayor over there of Minneapolis, Jacob Fry, or if it's that disgusting, corrupt, just incompetent governor over there, Governor Tim Walz. I want to see corrupt Somalians in handcuffs being walked over to the airport on their way on a plane back over to Somalia. And then I want a message sent over to those terrorist organizations that have all of our money to either send us back a check now for every dollar that you have stolen from the American people, or we're gonna wage war on every single one of those leaders and wipe their total existence off the face of this earth.
And it says you have 102 children here, and you got $2.66 million this year in funding.
Look at that. Shut us down. Where are the children at? No children inside of this daycare center. And look at this daycare center right here. No children inside of this daycare center. But between those buildings, over $2.6 million.
Federal authorities are conducting a massive investigation in Minnesota just days after independent journalist Nick Shirley posted a video that went super viral, showcasing alleged fraud at daycare centers across the state. Shirley posted a 42-minute YouTube video documenting his visits to daycare centers all across Minnesota, and in this one clip, he comes to a largely inactive building that's supposed to say Quality Learning Center, but it is misspelled and says Quality Leering Center. The center is supposed to account for 99 children and receives about $4 million in state funds. The video immediately sparked backlash, drawing on criticism of Governor Tim Walz. Nick Shirley was on the Big Weekend Show on Fox News and said the alleged fraud was so obvious that a kindergartner could figure out there is fraud going on. Kristi Noem wrote on X that HSI and FBI were on the ground in Minneapolis, and FBI Director Kash Patel said the agency surged additional personnel and resources to Minnesota, part of a larger effort to dismantle large-scale fraud schemes exploiting federal programs. A spokesperson for the governor told Fox News, the governor has worked for years to crack down on fraud and asked the state legislature for more authority to take aggressive actions. He has strengthened oversight, including launching investigations into these specific facilities, one of which was already closed.
Minnesota got a lot more problems than ICE. The feds is coming. The FBI is on their way. Ever since Nick Shirley posted those videos on X, December 26th, exposing the allegedly daycare fraud, those videos generated over 100 million views and caught the attention of the FBI. So now they're sending their investigative resources towards the state of Minnesota. Hopefully there's some consequences. I just seen a video of one of those ladies, the scam, Feeding Our Future scam, for $14 million. She admitted to it and she still walked out of court, not even arrested. It's scheduled to another court date. So hopefully there's some consequences. They bring out the guillotines, not literally, but figuratively, that something happened. Because all we see is all this fraud being exposed and no consequences. Now, the feds is on their way. J.D. Vance said that was great journalism work by Nick Shirley. He gave him a shout out. And Kash Patel says, yeah, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Massive fraud in the state of Minnesota, especially in Minneapolis. This daycare right here, run by Somalians, has taken in from the Minnesota government $1.1 million. This daycare says it can hold up to 40 children. I went up to the door. The door is locked, and as you can see, the windows are blacked out. I can't hear any children inside this daycare. It's midday right now. You'd think there'd be children in there playing, being taught, but no one is in there. This daycare, within 2 years, has taken in over $2 million. The Somalians are robbing the taxpayers in Minnesota blind. This is just one daycare located in Minneapolis that are doing exactly the same thing. We've went into daycare after daycare. All the doors are locked, all the windows are blocked out, and they're raking in millions upon millions of dollars. Tim Walz's Minnesota is allowing this to go on. It's super easy to find fraud. All you need to do is go up to a door, try to open it. It's closed and there's no children. So you know these daycares, they're not full, but yet they're taking in millions of dollars every year. Let me know your thoughts on this one.
So I just want to say this, the time now is 12:04. I haven't received a call back from any of those daycares in Minnesota. We've only called 2. We now know that one is closed because of all their violations, but the other one is open. And Paige, what time did we call it? Like 9 something?
I'll tell you right now. We called them, 9:20.
Yeah, we called them at like 9:20. No one's called back, so I guess my child won't be getting childcare, hypothetically. For a daycare, that's odd. But I did leave my name. I did leave a message. We did not call from a blocked number. We called from Paige's phone. So we'll see what they're talking about when they're talking about it. But yeah, I just wanted to let y'all know that that's what's going on with the Somalian daycare fraud scheme in Minnesota. We're doing a little bit of investigative work. Look, I just included Paige. She helped me. My secretary at work. Okay, I'm doing a little bit of investigative journalism on this, and I will keep you guys posted because right is right and wrong is wrong. So I just want to see what's going on. I just want to get to the bottom of it. So that's all. I just want to get to the bottom of what's really happening. And it's crazy that a 20-year-old's about to bring down the whole Minnesota government. All because of negligence. This is something that should have not been overlooked. Who is auditing these books? Who is cutting these checks?
I don't want to say the number, it's countless numbers. Every night I get an update on this of the threats to our federal money on everything we do. Because look, right now it's very clear. The entire federal government is weaponized against Minnesota. And the issues of things that should be states' rights, states to control, they're threatening us with this. And this is what happens when you have a floundering presidency and it is about those ballrooms and everything else. Now we're back on transgender folks. And these are healthcare providers providing the best guidance to parents and children to get their care. So we're assessing what it means. It's on every front. It's CDLs, it's transportation money, it's money across the board that they have weaponized.
All right, so let's listen to this Minnesota resident explain what's going on with the daycare fraud in Minnesota. Let's get it.
What's going on here in the state of Minnesota, especially in Minneapolis? Explain to me what's going on with the daycares.
So one of the things that I've noticed is there's an exceptional number of child care centers that are set up mostly in Minneapolis, but also in St. Paul. And I said, wow, how many kids are there in the Twin Cities? Some of them are by my office, and I would watch, and I said, well, there aren't any kids there. And I'd go to another one, there aren't any kids there, and I'd see just some Somali guys outside smoking cigarettes. So I stopped at one of them, and I said, hey, I'm just wondering, I've got a grandson who's looking for childcare, and I wonder if this might be a good facility. And they said, no, we're all full. And they had the door open, and I looked, and there were no kids. There was like a couch and a table with a couple chairs, and I said, well, are the kids out back playing, or what kind of place is this? And the guy said, you go, and he almost pushed me out the door, and then he followed me down the street to my car, and that's when I said, wait a minute, there's something going on here, and that's got to be maybe 5 years ago.
Damn.
This fraud is so massive. When the dust settles on this, it's going to be found to be the largest fraud in the history of the country and probably the world. It's that big.
Damn.
The ones that I've gotten data on, they average about $2.5 million a year, and a lot of them will say they have anywhere from 80 to 120 children. I've been to literally 40 or 50 of these childcare, and there never has been a single child at any one of them ever. Morning, afternoon, evening. Some of them say they're open till 10 o'clock at night. I go there in the morning, I go there in the afternoon, I go there at 9 o'clock at night. Nobody, there are no kids there ever.
Right here you have a list of all of the healthcare companies. Loads of them right here. We want healthcare.
No, it's okay.
Yes, we'd like to speak about getting healthcare here.
No.
Why can't I get healthcare here?
No, wait.
Warning, you are under video surveillance. No trespassing, security armed. This is the strangest place I've ever been to get healthcare. Just a bunch of different places. Healthcare here, healthcare right here. Another healthcare company right here. There are 3 healthcare companies inside of this building right here in this room of 7C. Now we have another Helping Hands, Home Care LLC, another healthcare company. Present Help right here. We're looking for the best rates of healthcare here inside this building because we have so many options. Who can we talk about getting the best healthcare?
I don't know.
No?
Sorry.
All right. We will not get any healthcare here. David, this is one of the stranger places I've ever been. Literally, healthcare every door you go to, yet nobody will give you a rate. How much money do you think has been funneled through this building?
Every year, I would say 50 to 60 million at least.
And finally, we were accepted into one of the daycare centers, and they actually took down our information to give us a rate. However, when we left, we were then met with the police.
We received a complaint that gentlemen matching your description were in this building harassing the individuals who stay here.
Oh, we're checking out the rates for healthcare. Because there's 14 healthcare companies inside this building, so.
Okay.
Well, that's not what he said. He said there's 14 companies here, and he's
trying to assume because they're Somali providers, everyone here is fraudulent.
Okay. So
he's here with some kind of like propaganda.
No, we're just checking.
No, this is a area that we're allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance. Is there any other reason that you guys are here?
Well, we were checking rates.
No, he's not.
We were checking rates. We asked for rates.
No, you're not.
Okay. I'm gonna have, if you guys are all good, we're gonna step outside and we can continue this conversation.
All right, let's leave. So, all right, we're getting escorted out right now. The police have arrived. We were checking out the rates, seeing what was happening inside this building. No one would really speak with us. We did go inside the one daycare center, and she actually did give us rates for childcare. Much respect to that lady. What's the problem, officer?
Well, so again, we've been getting reports from multiple individuals that you guys were harassing individuals who work here. At the end of the day, this is private property, and it's one that people are allowed to ask you to leave, and it's also one the Minneapolis Police Department is allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance at this address.
So let me give you the Amy Bach breakdown in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the people that need it, for the people that keep comparing the situation to Amy Bach. Actually, this is all tied in. Okay, so Amy Bach had a nonprofit foundation called Feeding Our Future. This was a nonprofit foundation that was to feed the children around COVID and provide low-income children and families and people in need with meals, especially around COVID and just in general, right? So nonprofits get funding or grants or et cetera, whatever they're getting from the government or different places, grants, foundations, et cetera, right? And then they are supposed to spend those funds accordingly on what they said when they wrote their grant letter or when they got the funds, what they said that the funds were going to be allocated to. Or if it's not formally written in a grant letter, they have to show what services, what did this nonprofit provide, what did it cover with this, whether that was legal expenses, whatever, but everything has to be accounted for in a nonprofit. So what she did was she basically embezzled $250 million from the government during COVID with her partner in crime, okay, Salim Saeed, okay, who was charged, another Somalian national, and they never fed any children. And so you're asking, well, how does this all tie in or where does it come to? Well, you have people that are trying to say, well, she did it. No, it was like 70 something people were indicted in that or charged or whatever the case was in that. Don't let me misquote you. However, in order to get that sort of funding, you would need to have $250 million worth of children to feed, hypothetically speaking, which we know that's not 250 million children, but we know that that would have to be a lot of centers, a lot of childcare places. And if you are saying that you're feeding children across America, you would need to recruit children. There would need to be some sort of ledger, syllabus, because you need to prove where these funds went. So do you know what my hypothesis is? Go down the rabbit hole if you want to. They opened up ghost daycares, paid individuals for their children's information, and got the funding they needed to live their lavish lifestyles. Now, let me give you a little more background. In the African culture, because my ex-husband was African, and especially Somalian culture, most children go back home. So if a mother comes here, she has her child, a husband and a mother, most of them send their children, back home to be raised by their parents or spend time in their country to learn the native tongue and to get the education and to learn the religion. Which would kind of make sense why the daycares were empty. However, they have to show a ledger to get this funding. It's bigger than that, babe. And I just want to be clear. 40 people who were charged in this, in the Ann Bach situation back in 2022, around then circa and up, were all Somali natives. That's all. Also, I just want to add this. Ann Bach has been charged already. Amy Bach has been charged already. I don't want to hear shit else. I don't want to keep hearing you guys' excuse about, well, Amy Bach did it. Two wrongs don't make it right. She already got her day. Now let's give you guys yours.
While absolutely shocking, it is true that the fraud in Minnesota is truly this blatant and this absurd. Shout out to Nick Shirley, who has made a series of videos in Minnesota where he simply printed off a list of different DHS approved providers, that's Department of Human Services. And because all of these are public, he's just going from business to business and just taking a look. Like, for instance, if there's an adult daycare or a child daycare and it says that they service 100 kids, it would be very obvious to any person that would walk up and be like, There's clearly not 100 children in this business.
Well, this is actually 2 daycares are registered here. One of them is Mako, which you see on this sign. The other one is Mini Child Care Center. And between the 2 of these child care centers, they're pulling in about $3 million a year. And there are no children. Every facility that you go to, the windows will be blocked out so you can't see in. There's nobody here. You won't see a single child at any of these facilities.
And the child care center is locked. Should we ring the doorbell? Try to get in, rang the doorbell, nobody showed up. They're open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. it says here on their sign, yet there's absolutely nobody here.
While I am so happy that Nick's videos are going massively viral to be able to give us a national spotlight right here in Minnesota, some people seem to think that in Minnesota we don't care about the fraud, and that could not be further from the truth. The reality is we don't really have any very large content creators or journalists that have millions of followers here in Minnesota. That's the truth. People like myself, John Justice. Over at Alpha News, you have Liz Collin, Jenna Globe. Over at Center of the American Experiment, you have Bill Glahn, Katherine Johnson, Grace Keating. We also have Republican legislators out there that have made videos and talked about this as well. Shout out to Walter Hudson, Pam Altendorf, Elliot Engen. There's so many more that are creating content on a regular basis, trying to show people that yes, it is that bad. The point is that none of us really have a huge national presence. And so when we put our content out there, it just doesn't get the hits, clicks, and views. It's just, that's the way that things work. So no shade to any big creator coming to Minnesota. In fact, I hope more of you come here. It's just understand that there have been people that have been talking about the fraud, investigating the fraud, writing about the fraud, making videos about the fraud. We just never got national attention on any type of sustained basis. Now, here's the bigger question. If someone like Nick Shirley or journalists over at Alpha News like Liz Collin and Jenna Globe can go to these businesses and it is blatantly obvious that they are lying about how many families or people they are helping serve the needs of, then why wouldn't the government simply send a handful of people just, I don't know, once or twice a year to be able to observe that clearly there is not the level of services being provided that they are claiming? Ultimately, I'm just glad to see this level of interest in Minnesota, because this is something that we local Minnesotans have been screaming from the top of our lungs for years now, that someone from the federal government or other large organizations, news entities should come to Minnesota and help truly uncover and expose how bad the fraud and corruption truly is. We need accountability. And what that ultimately means, we need investigations, and if there's enough evidence, there needs to be criminal charges, not just against the fraudsters, of course, but against government officials that are in charge of these systems that clearly are doing something wrong, and then they need to be put in jail. It's time to hold these people accountable. It's the only way to restore trust back in the system.
It's a daycare center owned by Somalians and stuff like that.
Have you ever seen any kids in this place here?
No, not that I know of. I just seen it, the building itself. I've never seen nobody come out the building or go in the building.
You've never seen anybody over there?
No, not at all.
So right now we are in front of the Great Minds Learning Academy. This is one of the many daycare centers, learning centers here in Columbus, Ohio that are associated with the Somali community. As you know, Nick Shirley put out a bombshell report about all these fraudulent daycare facilities in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So we wanted to come out to Columbus, Ohio and investigate what might be going on in the second largest Somali community in the United States of America. So this place here is the first place we're gonna knock, and we're gonna see if anybody picks up or answers the door. Let's see. So, it's locked. We're ringing the doorbell here. Knocking on the door. Nobody's picking up. So we're not sure what the hell's going on here, but we're gonna get out of here. Now there's somebody over there. How you doing, sir? I'm sure you see the reports over the weekend about all the daycare centers in Minnesota. We just wanted to see what was going on. Did you know anything about this place here?
It's a daycare center owned by Somalians and stuff like that.
Do you ever see any kids there?
No, because they use the back door, so I won't know if they is.
They use the back door?
Yeah, I've never seen nobody come in here, but they use the back door.
But have you ever seen any kid? You live around here?
Yeah, on this building right here.
Oh, you're in this building?
Yeah.
You're in this building too? Hey, let me ask you, have you ever seen any kids in this place here?
No, not that I know of. they use the back, so I've never seen nobody come out the front.
You've never seen anybody over there?
No, not at all.
I just seen it, the building itself. I've never seen nobody come out the building or go in the building.
So we came to the back, just like those guys suggested, and there's nothing here. You know, we can keep poking around, but there's so many of these centers to go to. We're just getting started. So we're gonna go around the city. We're gonna go to a few more of these places. We're gonna see if we can get anybody to talk to us. Stay tuned.
The Somalian community in Minnesota is so cooked. This is like the worst PR any group of people can ever get. This YouTuber called Nick Shirley linked up with another dude who's already been investigating fraud in the Somalian community in Minnesota. And they exposed $100 million in fraud from the Somalian community. They so cooked, this video here went so viral that the President of the United States reacted to this.
There's one building that has 14 Somali healthcare companies at the same address.
And the government knows about this.
The government knows they're writing the checks. Yeah, the Democrats over there just writing the checks.
I don't think this is a political issue. I think this is an issue of some really bad actors ruining for everybody.
Indeed, no windows. All the windows are blacked out right here. All right, let's go in.
No.
And the child care center is locked. Should we ring the doorbell? Yeah. Try to get in, rang the doorbell. Nobody showed up. They're open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. it says here on their sign, yet there's absolutely nobody here. Hello, can we speak? Yeah. I would like to check a child in the daycare.
Why?
Can I speak to a manager?
Like, if you're running a legitimate business and you have nothing to hide, if somebody comes and wants to register their kids to come to the daycare, I think the least you would have is an application, right? Like, you would have an application, okay, here, fill this out and bring it back. The fact that there's no application, they're acting...
Are you a news reporter?
My name's Nick. We're doing a little documentary trying to find little Joey a spot to put himself in one of these centers here, because there's...
So why are you asking us about, like...
The fraud? Yeah, because we want to make sure we're going to a legit business if we're going to bring our little boy Joey here.
This is not a Joey spot.
And it's not fair, it's not okay to categorize all Somalians as scammers and fraudsters due to the actions of a few. It's not okay to treat all Somalians poorly due to the actions of a few. But when you have the President of the United States responding back and sensationalizing it and vilifying all Somalians, that's going to trickle down, right? That's going to have other people now treat Somalians poorly. That's going to have other people now think it's okay to be prejudiced and racist towards Somalians.
Blatant, this fraud is here at this daycare. Don't open up! So this is Quality Learning Center. I meant to say Quality Learning Center. Don't open up! They said they spelled learning wrong. Don't open up! How do you have ice here, ma'am? I'm literally a YouTuber. Don't open up! Ma'am, what do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota? Don't open up! We have ice!
And what do you think about this place being licensed for 99 children?
Don't open up!
And getting $4 million
Don't open up! It's ice!
$4 million in the last 2 years?
Go away!
What do you think about that? Are you in
Go
favor?
away!
Are you in favor of that?
Go away!
You know
You're
what it-
not welcome here. Shame on you. Are you in favor of $1.9 million going illegal?
Okay, so let's analyze a little bit of what we just watched. So Nick Shirley and this man are out here exposing Somalis committing fraud against U.S. taxpayers in Minnesota. That's a daycare center. They spelled learning wrong. No one's in the building. You can't see in the building. There seems to be no children there whatsoever. But they are receiving over $1 million a year from the government. A government that's ran by Democrats. It's the state government in Minnesota. So now you've got Democrats who have let these people come into their state and commit all this fraud and defraud their own taxpayers. And then due to Democrats brainwashing and trying to get their side to believe that ICE is bad for enforcing our immigration laws, you now have a Democrat supporter who's out here trying to stop Nick Shirley and this man from exposing the fraud that is plaguing the state of Minnesota. So the Democrats quite literally create the perfect conditions for all this fraud to happen. And then their voters are out here attacking the people who are exposing the fraud that is harming American taxpayers. This is the modern Democratic Party today. This is a perfect example of them. Incompetent, ignorant, wasteful. And if what Nick Shirley said is true, this is just the beginning. Hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars of fraud It's wild. She's literally out here fighting the guys who are exposing fraud happening. It's crazy when you think about it. Also, just a reminder, I have a free email newsletter I send out every morning. About an hour ago, I sent out an article to my subscribers on Substack. It just goes to your email about California's audit that just took place. There are clearly some systemic failures in how California is governing its state, and I cover much of that in this article. So if you want information like this and then also regular news updates about what's going on every morning, just subscribe to my email newsletter. The link is in my profile. Once you click that link, you'll see this screen right here. Drop your email in, hit subscribe, and you'll be good to go. Anyway, that's all I got for now. We'll see you in the next one.
That's a very good question. Why is Fox News the only network out there that is covering the corruption and the collusion of what's coming out of Minnesota under the guise of Governor Tim Walz and Mayor Jacob Fry? I just scoured the internet pretty much through every single network that is on there, and the only one that is covering Nick Shirley and what's happening over in Minnesota is Fox News. And at this point, you've got to ask yourself why. Is it because they don't care? Or is it because they are afraid to be called a racist? How about accused of Islamophobia? Or how about just so ashamed and so disgusted of the party that they support, that the corruption and collusion coming out of Minnesota is so overwhelming that it's something that they can't overcome? To the Democratic children of Minnesota, your moms and dads are working their asses off to give you a good life. They are working their fingers to the bone, many of them living paycheck to paycheck, to make sure that they put food on the table for when you come home from school. We worry about how the rent is going to get paid, or maybe there's a mortgage that is coming up and that is due at the end of the month. Or how about that car you wanted us to buy you? It's also going to require insurance and gasoline to fill up every single week while you're driving and partying with your friends and getting around as you're living your life or trying to live your life responsibly on your own. We are doing everything we can with the cards that have been dealt to us to give you the best life possible. Help your moms, help your dads, scream from the mountaintops. I'm not hearing anything coming out of Minnesota from the children. Tim Walz, Mayor Fry, you must resign immediately. And you must take everything that is coming to you. Take your indictments like good little boys. Take responsibility for all the corruption and collusion that this world has never seen coming out of the beautiful state of Minnesota. Governor Tim Walz and Mayor Jacob Fry. What a great name, Fry. As like in fry in a frying pan. Both of you are disgusting, and both of you are traitors to this country. I don't know how either one of you can go to sleep at night, facing your children, knowing what has been going on, and what the both of you have done.
Nick, we've had you on this show before. You know, I'm a longtime follower of yours. You've done incredible work. I know you're an incredible investigative journalist on the ground. But I guess my question is this. How much investigating did you actually have to do to find these centers, some of them that have misspelled signs? Did you just find them easily, or how did you go about this? Because it's amazing to me that nobody else besides you saw a problem here when they can't even spell on the side of a learning center, Nick.
Yeah, it's a great question, and I have to give props to the man by the name of David who helped me in this investigation. He's been doing research for years trying to expose this fraud, and nobody has given him the time of day to even talk about this. So with his help and my own investigation, I've known about the fraud taking place for a long time. Minnesotans have been telling me for a long time about the Somali fraud that is taking place. And with his help, we were able to crack over $110 million in fraud in one day. And that's just the tip. When people say it's the tip of the iceberg, it really is, because there's billions of fraud inside of the state of Minnesota right now.
Nick, kind of on that topic, you said that, I believe you just said his name was David, has been researching this for years. In your experience or in your opinion, just spending the day you spent out there tracking this down, is there any way that this hasn't reached the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz? I mean, take aside ongoing litigation or what have you, but is there any way that he could claim ignorance on this, just in your experience over this investigation?
Oh, it's so obvious. If you're living in Minnesota, you have to raise your eyebrows and think, what's going on? Literally, if you drive around Minnesota, around Minneapolis, you'll see daycare centers, autism centers. You will then see transportation companies that have snow piled up as if they haven't moved in months. And then you also go into buildings where there'll be 20 healthcare companies, 14 and 22, the video that I published on X and YouTube. So it is like a kindergartner could figure out that there's fraud going on.
Hello, I'm HHS Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill. I'm here with Assistant Secretary Alex Adams. Alex oversees the Administration for Children and Families. Intrepid journalists have made shocking and credible allegations of extensive fraud in Minnesota's child care programs. We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade.
My office, ACF, provides Minnesota $185 million in child care funds each year. That money should be helping 19,000 American children, including toddlers and infants. Any dollar stolen by fraudsters is stolen from those children. Yesterday, I spoke directly with the director of the Minnesota Child Care Services Office. She could not tell me with confidence whether those allegations of fraud are isolated or whether there's fraud stretching statewide.
Today, we have taken 3 direct actions against the blatant fraud that seems to be rampant in Minnesota. First, I have activated our Defend the Spend system for all ACF child care payments across America. Starting today, we require a justification, receipt, or photo evidence before we make a payment. Second, I have just signed and sent a demand letter to Governor Walz. I required a full 360 review of these centers. This includes attendance records, licenses, complaints, investigations, and inspections.
And third, we've launched a dedicated fraud reporting hotline and email address at childcare.gov. Whether you're a parent, a provider, a member of the public, we want to hear from you. Let me be crystal clear. ACF expects every state to uphold the highest standards of oversight, monitoring, and accountability for federal dollars. Minnesota is no exception.
We're committed to holding bad actors accountable. Regardless of rank or office, anyone who's involved in perpetrating this fraud against the American people should expect to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.